Hey guys, I am Faber for JC. Thank you for tuning in. Tomorrow night, Michael Bisping and Luke Rockhold are going to fight each other for Rockhold's middleweight championship, and this is going to be the rematch between the two. The first one was won handily and quite easily by Luke Rockhold. But this matchup has all the makings of a great Cinderella story. Should Michael Bisping pull off the upset, nobody really thinks that he's going to do it. I personally really don't think he has a chance. But actually, no, let me back up a little bit. I think that Bisping does have a fair chance of pulling the upset, even though, I don't know. I saw the first fight not too long ago before I recorded this video. I watched it on YouTube, and I think Bisping was doing sort of okay until he got caught with that high kick, and things just ended. But definitely, if there's any advantage that Michael Bisping holds over Luke Rockhold, it is the footwork and speed department. If he can run around Luke Rockhold for 5 rounds and box circles and try to beat him to the punch and use in and out tactics, then I think Bisping might be able to pull it off. But Luke Rockhold is one of the most intelligent fighters out there. I think Bisping might have a good couple of minutes or so, maybe even a good couple of minutes of every round might belong to Michael Bisping, circling and running around. But Rockhold is very smart. He might not destroy Michael Bisping right off the bat, but Rockhold knows how to win rounds. He's going to go for the takedown and control Bisping and land some scoring shots with ground and pound. He doesn't necessarily have to annihilate Michael Bisping, even though Rockhold was talking smack, saying that he's going to give his purse to Michael Bisping if he makes it out of the first round. So we'll see how aggressive Luke Rockhold is for this fight. He's not really the knockout artist that Conor McGregor is. Conor McGregor. I just felt like saying that because everybody else seems to get a lot more attention by just mentioning Conor McGregor's name. So there, I've mentioned Conor McGregor's name. That's the 4th time. Hopefully I'll get 4 times the hits on this video for doing that. But Luke Rockhold is most likely to retain his title. But I am sort of rooting for Michael Bisping. I really am not a fan of either guy. But I think both guys have been talking more. Well, Bisping has always been a talker. But Luke Rockhold, he's really turned it up 2 notches in the trash talk department, and even going as far as to say that Anderson Silva was never at his level. Now, in retrospect, and considering all the things that Luke Rockhold has done recently, well, against Chris Weidman anyway, I think, and it makes more sense how dominant Rockhold has been years before against other opponents. And I think maybe Rockhold does have a case as far as being, better than Anderson Silva, or Anderson Silva never really being at his level. And I think Rockhold has, more technical skills, or has better fundamentals than Anderson Silva does, I think. But Silva is more gifted. He's more of an improviser. But anyway, I don't want to talk about Silva and Luke Rockhold right now, but Bisping versus Rockhold. What I was about to say was that I think Michael Bisping is kind of like the opposite of Vitor Belfort as far as their careers have gone. Vitor Belfort, I think he's gotten like 18 title shots and always fell short. Well, I guess if you want to count that fluke victory he has over Randy Couture because of that cut. But Vitor Belfort has gotten like title shot after title shot after title shot and always falling short, never winning that gold. And here we have Michael Bisping, who has never gotten a title shot, and now, I think it'd be a great story if after nearly a decade or however long Bisping's been around and not getting a title shot, that he finally gets a championship. Not just a title shot, but if he actually wins it on his first try. not that'll be like the complete opposite of Vitor Belfort. And what do you guys think of that? I mean, just for that story there, I'm rooting for Bisping. But I know that if I were a betting man, I wouldn't put it on Bisping. Rockhold, tall, lanky, smart, well-rounded. He's probably going to take this fight. But what about the other fight in this event, which is Dominic Cruz and Uriah Faber? I was just watching Dominic Cruz against Demetrius Johnson, which took place many, many years ago. And, Dominic Cruz is something else. His footwork, his speed, his instincts. He has a radar. And Demetrius Johnson is a little guy, but, he's quicker than everybody else, including Uriah Faber. And Dominic Cruz was just dodging left and right, and like it was the Matrix, like Demetrius Johnson was moving in slow motion or something like that. And I think Faber has his work cut out for him, even though the odds makers are giving him a pretty decent chance of pulling off the upset against Dominic Cruz. As great as Dominic Cruz is, I don't think he's really the same fighter as he was. I mean, he can't possibly be. I mean, I know he's looked pretty good in the last couple of fights since his comeback, but you got to take into consideration all the injuries he's had to go through, the surgeries, the age, and anything can happen. Dominic Cruz is not a knockout puncher. He doesn't really stop people. But even though now that I said that, he's probably going to end up knocking out Faber in like a minute. But there's no such threat, really. I mean, unless if it was some sort of freak accident, that Dominic Cruz can stop Uriah Faber, with just one strike. That's unlikely to happen. But there's a good possibility that Faber might get his grind on and actually start stealing rounds from Cruz, because he really, really has to test Dominic Cruz's stamina. Well, even though Cruz looked good against TJ Dillashaw, but he has to grind. He can't give Dominic Cruz the space. He needs to pressure him, push him against the fence, keep trying to take him down, and just grind. That's Uriah Faber's best shot. And Faber is a pretty good boxer for an MMA fighter. I mean, MMA style boxing. So he needs to start winging those shots and try to get into exchanges with Dominic Cruz. I think that as far as who's more accurate during an exchange, definitely that'll go to Dominic Cruz. But for that one punch knockout power, the edge would have to go to Uriah Faber. He just puts more behind his punches and is more likely to stun Dominic Cruz than Cruz is to stun Faber. And speaking of Faber, I favor Dominic Cruz. Obviously, doesn't make me a genius. It's an easy pick, but still a very, very interesting night. This doubleheader. I know there are other guys out there, but these are the two that people really care about. And I would love to see Cody Garbrandt against Dominic Cruz in the near future. I hope they don't let this stew a long time. I think they should just make the fight happen as soon as possible. I know he's only had 9 fights in the UFC, but so what? This is the kind of sport MMA is. It's not like boxing where you get to pad your record, for like 2 or 3 years before getting a title shot. If you have it, you have it. If you don't, you don't. So there you have it. What do you guys think? Who's going to win and how are they going to do it? Make sure to leave your comments. Until next time.